The world hit 8 billion people in November of 2023. That's a lot of people. But what if I told you that in some parts of the world, populations aren't growing, they're shrinking. Entire cities and even countries are facing a population collapse. And believe it or not, that could be good news for digital nomads and retirees like you. So what exactly is population collapse? It's when the number of people in a country starts to decline, often because not enough babies are being born to replace those who are aging out. Experts say the magic number to keep a population steady is 2.1 children per woman. Anything less and the population starts shrinking. And this isn't just happening in remote villages, it's hitting major countries hard. Even the United Nations and the CIA are keeping an eye on this trend. And here's a plot twist. The US is projected to experience population decline by 2033. That's just 8 years from now. But what's driving this decline? Is it just because fewer people want to have kids? Partly. But it's also about people waiting longer to start families, prioritizing careers, and let's be real, the rising cost of living. And it's not just an economic issue, culture plays a big role too. But here's where it gets interesting. Some countries are seeing the silver lining and are offering amazing incentives to attract people to move there. We're talking cash payments, discounted housing, and even €1 homes. Imagine buying a house in Italy for the cost of a cappuccino. In this video, we'll explore the top 21 countries experiencing population collapse, dive into the cities that are emptying out, and check out the unbelievable deals available for people willing to move. Whether you're a digital nomad looking for your next adventure or a retiree searching for a peaceful European village, this could be your opportunity. Let's jump in. First up, let's take a look at the top 21 countries currently facing population decline. These countries are seeing a noticeable drop in their populations due to factors like low birth rates, high immigration, and aging citizens. Let's dive into the numbers. Up first is Bulgaria. Their population is projected to drop by over 20% by 2050. Lithuania is facing a steep 20.7% decline. Latvia is set to lose 21% of its population, and in the Ukraine, war and immigration have led to a significant decline. Serbia is experiencing a rapid 26.4% drop. Bosnia is estimated to lose 21.9% of its people, and in Croatia, a reduction of around 18% is expected. Moldova is struggling with immigration, facing a 20% drop. And the only non-European country on this list is Japan, who basically has a 15% decline projected by 2050. Now, as you can see from all of these countries, that's a list. That's a big list. Many of these countries are facing some tough demographic challenges. But remember, where there's challenge, there's opportunity, especially for digital nomads and retirees looking to take advantage of incentives and low-cost living. Now that we've seen the global picture, let's zoom in on Europe. Europe is one of the regions facing the sharpest population decline, with many countries losing residents faster than anywhere else in the world. Many cities across Europe are experiencing steep drops in population, with abandoned buildings and empty neighborhoods becoming common sights, with these cities being hit the hardest. But this also means opportunity for those willing to explore new places. If you're a digital nomad or retiree looking for a slower pace of life with cheaper homes, lower taxes, and possibly even financial incentives, some of these cities might be calling your name. So we've covered countries and cities facing population decline, but what are they doing about it? Well, some places are getting creative. To attract new residents, governments and communities are rolling out all kinds of offers, from cash payments to subsidized housing. Let's check out some of the most tempting deals. First up, we've got Albinen, a stunning Swiss village in the Alps. To bring in new life, they're offering 25,000 Swiss francs per adult and 10,000 Swiss francs per child. That's like getting paid to live in a postcard. But there's a catch. You'll need to buy or build a home worth at least 200,000 Swiss francs and commit to living there for 10 years. Basically no Swiss-and-ditch allowed. Next is Spain's tiny town of Ponga. It's practically begging people to move in. They'll give you 3,200 euros per adult just to relocate. Have a baby there? Cha-ching, that's another 3,000 euros. It's a perfect spot for those looking to slow down and soak up some Spanish charm. Ah, Sardinia, crystal blue waters, rugged mountains, and a bonus for moving there? Yep. The island is offering newcomers up to 15,000 euros to buy and renovate homes, but you have to move to a town with fewer than 3,000 residents. Now everybody, I'm going to butcher this name. Italy is also dishing out deals in Presice Aquarica, and I'm sure I messed that up. But you'll get up to 30,000 euros to buy and fix up a home. Plus the cost of real estate there is a steal compared to big cities. And a bonus, there's a nearby beach, so you can renovate by day and dip your toes in the Mediterranean by sunset. Want to live like a Greek god? Well, on the island of Antikythera, they'll pay you 500 euros per month, 3 years, plus give you free land. But heads up, it's remote, like the ferry runs twice a week remote. Feeling a bit Irish? Ireland is offering up 84,000 euros to anyone willing to renovate an abandoned home on one of its coastal islands. Think rugged cliffs, green pastures, and pub nights galore. And for those who don't mind a bit of snow, Glommerstrask in Sweden will pay families 10,000 krona if they enroll their children in the local school. It's a pretty cool way to support small communities. Whether you're in it for the money, the adventure, or a quiet life in the countryside, these incentives are a win-win. And trust me, the views don't hurt either. You've probably heard about Italy's famous €1 homes, right? Sounds like a dream. A house for less than the price of a coffee. But before you pack your bags, let's break down what these programs are really like, the actual costs, the requirements, and whether they're really worth it. Italy's €1 home scheme started as a way to revive abandoned villages. After years of immigration and low birth rates, many towns were left with empty, crumbling homes. To bring them back to life, local governments started selling them for just €1, with a few strings attached. So how does it work? Well, you buy a home for €1. Sounds amazing, but that's just the beginning. You have to renovate it. Buyers must commit to restoring the property, often within 3 years. And you have to make a deposit. Some towns require a 5,000 to 10,000 euro deposit to ensure the renovation happens. Then you have legal fees, notary costs, and permits typically range from 3,000 to 10,000 euros. Then the restoration can cost anywhere from 20,000 euros to 100,000 euros or more, depending on the property's condition. In some cases, you may be able to apply for grants or tax breaks to help offset renovation costs, especially if you're making the property your primary residence. While the €1 homes made headlines, the reality is that demand has driven prices up. Now you're more likely to find houses starting around 5,000 euros to 20,000 euros, even in the same villages. But compared to major cities, still a steal. Plus, many towns have expanded their programs. Instead of just €1 homes, some offer properties at deep discounts or include tax incentives for renovations. But let's be real, owning a house in Italy isn't all pasta and prosecco. There are hidden costs to consider. Older homes can be expensive to heat, cool, and maintain. Renovations may need to follow strict historical preservation rules. Some villages are hours away from major airports or cities. But if you're a remote worker or retiree who loves peace and quiet, this could be a perfect escape. And in some cases, the government even offers tax breaks for relocating to these regions. And Italy isn't the only one. Other European countries are also offering cheap housing to attract new residents. In Spain, you have villages like Rubia, and I'm going to get this one wrong, but I'm going to call it Exesta. They offer abandoned homes for as little as 5,000 euros. And then you have Croatia. Some towns sell neglected homes for €1 with renovation grants available. And then in France, you have small rural communities. You can find stone cottages for 10,000 to 20,000 euros. And if you're thinking long-term, these properties could also be great investments. Fix it up, live in it for a while, and maybe even turn it into a vacation rental. Win-win. All right, so we've talked about the deals you can get on houses, but what about the other perks? Moving to a country experiencing population decline doesn't just mean affordable real estate, it can also mean lower taxes and a fantastic quality of life. Let's break it down. Many European countries are rolling out red carpet tax benefits to lure in residents. Here are a few standouts. Italy's flat tax. If you're moving to Italy, listen up. Italy offers a flat tax of 7% for retirees moving to certain southern regions like Sicily, Calabria, and Sardinia. That's right, 7%. Compared to the double-digit tax rates in other countries, that's like a tax holiday with an espresso on the side. Portugal is a favorite for digital nomads and retirees. The NHR program offers a 10-year tax break on foreign income, plus reduced tax rates on some local income. And for Greece, they offer a 7% flat tax rate on foreign pensions. Spain now offers a digital nomad visa with a competitive tax rate. For your first 5 years, you could pay as little as 15% in taxes on your earnings. So whether you're retired, remote working, or even starting a business, there are some pretty sweet deals out there. Now, taxes are great and all, not really, but what's life like in these places? Well, let's talk about quality of life. Most European countries offer high-quality healthcare at a fraction of US prices. Countries like Spain, Portugal, and Italy have some of the best public and private healthcare systems. And yes, many doctors speak English. In many regions, especially in countries like Bulgaria and Romania, your dollar goes a long way. Groceries, utilities, and dining out are incredibly affordable. You might even find yourself living better for less. Europe is rich in history and culture. From Italian vineyards to Spanish festivals, there's always something to enjoy. And with many towns actively welcoming new residents, you'll likely find yourself embraced by the local community. Europe consistently ranks high for safety and infrastructure. With excellent public transportation systems and low crime rates, getting around and feeling secure is a breeze. For digital nomads, reliable internet and co-working spaces are widely available. And for retirees, the relaxed pace of life in smaller towns can be just what the doctor ordered. And with Starlink, you can still get internet in the most rural towns. Lower taxes, affordable healthcare, and charming communities. It's no wonder why so many people are making the leap. And with population decline leading to more incentives, it's an opportunity that's hard to ignore. So we've been focusing on Europe, but Japan is one of the most well-known examples of a country facing severe population decline. And unlike Europe, it's not just smaller towns, even major cities like Tokyo are starting to feel the effects. Japan's population has been shrinking for over a decade thanks to a low birth rate and a rapidly aging society. Right now, the country is losing around 800,000 people per year. But what does that mean for housing? Well, Japan has over 8 million vacant homes. They call them IKEA. Many of these are in rural towns, and some regions are practically giving them away. Local governments have created IKEA banks, which are basically online listings of abandoned homes. Some homes are free, while others are priced as low as $500 to $5,000. To sweeten the deal, some towns offer renovation subsidies that can cover up to 50% of the costs, encouraging people to restore these properties. There are also significant property tax reductions for maintaining and restoring empty homes. The good news? Foreigners are often eligible to buy these properties. No Japanese citizenship required. Many digital nomads and remote workers are snapping up these deals for a peaceful countryside lifestyle. And if city life is more your thing, even urban areas are starting to offer incentives. Some prefectures offer cash grants or tax reductions for families and younger people willing to settle down. Now, Japan isn't the cheapest place to live day to day, but with low housing costs and generous subsidies, it could be an excellent option for retirees or remote workers looking for a cultural experience. And hey, sushi on demand doesn't hurt. So we've seen what's been happening in Europe and Japan, but what about the US? Population decline isn't something we've had to deal with on a large scale yet. But projections suggest that by 2033, the US could experience its own population drop. So what would that mean for housing prices? First, let's state the obvious. Fewer people means less demand for housing, and when demand drops, so do prices. But it's not quite that simple. Urban versus rural. Big cities like New York and Los Angeles might feel it first, especially in the neighborhoods that rely on young professionals and new immigrants. On the flip side, rural areas could experience further declines. Abandoned homes and blighted neighborhoods might become more common. While some regions may struggle, others, especially with strong economies, universities, or natural beauty, might not see prices fall as dramatically. Think Austin or Miami. The U.S. is also facing a silver tsunami as baby boomers age out of their homes. With fewer younger buyers to replace them, we could see an oversupply of larger suburban houses. Now let's look at the upside. A declining population could present some pretty interesting opportunities. If you've been priced out of the market, a population collapse could finally bring homeownership within reach. Companies are embracing remote work, so people may flock to areas with lower housing costs and better quality of life. Smaller towns could see a second wind. If you're an investor, this could be a gold mine. Properties in declining cities might be dirt cheap. Buy low, renovate, and wait for the inevitable bounce back when the economy shifts. But what about the government? Well, we've seen in Europe and Japan how governments intervene with incentives to keep communities alive. Could we see similar moves in the US? It's possible. Expect to see programs offering tax breaks, first-time buyer incentives, or even cash offers to relocate to struggling areas. Some cities might even adopt models like Japan's IKEA banks, turning vacant homes into affordable housing for families or entrepreneurs. And let's not forget, infrastructure improvements and job creation initiatives could help reverse the trend. A population collapse sounds scary, but for savvy buyers, investors, and digital nomads, it could mean opportunities. Lower housing prices, government incentives, and the ability to work from anywhere might just make it the best time to make your move. And now let's head down to the land of the long white cloud, New Zealand. Unlike some countries struggling with population decline, New Zealand is taking a proactive approach. They're not just hoping people will move there, they're offering targeted incentives to bring in new residents, especially those with in-demand skills. New Zealand's population isn't in free fall like some European countries, but it's growing at a slower pace. And with an aging workforce, they're facing labor shortages in critical sectors. From healthcare to tech, they need people, and they're willing to roll out the red carpet. So what's on offer? Well, let's break down New Zealand's most attractive incentives. If you've got experience in high-demand fields like healthcare, engineering, or IT, New Zealand offers a skilled migrant visa. This could lead to permanent residency, and the application process is fairly straightforward. For ultra-high demand jobs, the Green List pathway offers fast-track residency. Think doctors, nurses, and software developers, the people they're desperate to bring in. While there's no hard age cap for moving to New Zealand, people under 55 often have a leg up when it comes to applying for permanent residency. It's a strategy to attract younger workers who can contribute for decades. Certain regions offer additional incentives if you're willing to settle outside major cities. This boosts local economies and helps smaller towns stay vibrant. Think of it as the anti-population collapse strategy. Now, New Zealand isn't the cheapest place on the planet. Housing in cities like Auckland and Wellington can be pricey, but if you're open to smaller towns, you'll find more affordable options. We're talking world-class healthcare, pristine nature, and a relaxed lifestyle. For retirees and digital nomads, that's a major win. If you've got in-demand skills or you're looking for a fresh start, New Zealand might just be the place for you. The incentives are generous, the people are friendly, and the views unmatched. And if you're not ready to commit to a move, consider a long-term visit. Many visas allow remote workers to live in New Zealand while enjoying everything the country has to offer. So far, we've talked a lot about population decline, but on the other end of the spectrum, many developing countries are seeing rapid population growth. The question is this making them poorer, or could it actually lead to a reversal of wealth? Let's dive in. First, why are these populations growing at such a fast rate? It mostly comes down to a few major factors. Lack of access to contraceptives. In many regions, family planning is either limited or not culturally accepted. Contraceptives can be expensive or just unavailable. Limited education, particularly for women. The fewer educational opportunities, the more likely girls are to marry young and have large families. In rural areas, children are often seen as economic assets. They help with farming, tend livestock, or contribute to family businesses. When healthcare is unreliable, families tend to have more children as a form of insurance, assuming some may not survive. In some societies, large families are valued as a sign of wealth, strength, or religious fulfillment. Now the big question, does all this growth make countries poorer? Well, it can. Rapid population growth often means governments struggle to keep up. Schools become overcrowded, healthcare systems buckle under the pressure, and job markets get saturated. More people, fewer resources. Plus, when large families rely on subsistence farming, it's tough to break the cycle of poverty. On the flip side, some economists argue that population growth can actually lead to economic growth. It's called the demographic dividend. When a country has a large youthful workforce and fewer dependents, productivity soars. Countries like China and India saw massive population growth in the past, but their economies exploded when that growth was paired with industrialization, education, and economic reform. For population growth to lead to prosperity instead of poverty, these factors matter. When girls stay in school longer, they tend to marry later and have fewer children. Win-win. Lower infant mortality rates often mean families have fewer children. Developing industries and investing in infrastructure creates opportunities for young workers. Countries that provide access to contraceptives and reproductive health education often see reduced poverty rates. So does rapid population growth guarantee poverty? Not necessarily. Countries that invest in education, healthcare, and job creation often see the rewards of a young, vibrant workforce. But without those investments, overcrowding and resource scarcity can spiral into deeper poverty. It's a balancing act, but in the right conditions, a population boom could actually lead to a boom in economic prosperity. So there you have it. Population collapse might sound like the end of the world, but for digital nomads, retirees, and savvy investors, it could be a golden opportunity. From Italy's €1 homes to New Zealand's fast-track visas, countries are rolling out the welcome mat to attract new residents. Whether you're looking for affordable housing, lower taxes, or just a fresh start, there's a place out there for you. And the best part, many of these countries genuinely want you to come. But remember, while the incentives are great, moving abroad is a big decision. Research carefully, consider the true costs, and make sure it's the right fit for your lifestyle. And hey, if all else fails, there's always a vacation. Just don't blame me if you fall in love with that €1 Italian villa. So what do you think? Could one of these countries be your next adventure? Let me know in the comments which destination caught your eye. And if you've ever taken advantage of a relocation incentive, I'd love to hear your story. While you're at it, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the Americano for more updates on life as digital nomad, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on the next one.
The Americano.